You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Big Ben Stout here with me at BigSocial32 on Twitter. And you can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. We are talking UCF sports, as always. Also got Ronald in the studio there, manning the controls. Appreciate that. We're talking UCF sports. It's in the name, Knightline at night. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So we may talk about some other general sports stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird time.
Yeah,
I'm going to say this for the next, what is it here? Let me see. The next 85 days,
85
really.
days.
85 days until the kickoff for UCF football, by the way. 85 days, 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 33 seconds
But who's counting?
until it is actually, September 2nd. So, but who's counting?
But who's counting,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So,
this is an interesting time. It's a lot of almost all UCF sports are now ended. So, and we're in this kind of like week or two period where really nothing's going on as far as UCF sports goes. So,
here's good
recruiting
news.
is going
yeah,
on.
Yeah, here's good news though. It's only 100,022, 603 minutes.
All right.
I mean, that's good. 12 weeks and 2 months.
We're tallying it.
Yeah. I mean, but who's counting?
The countdown has absolutely begun. There is no doubt about that.
7,356 seconds, 232 seconds. But who's counting? I mean, not like I'm stoked for UCF football at all.
Exactly.
I mean, it's no big deal. but yeah, recruiting is really kicking. Which is awesome.
The open recruiting period started June 1st, and the Gus Bus and T Will. I mean, they're really going at it hard. We've had a lot of big names that are coming in on campus already. Excuse me. But this weekend being Bounce House weekend, we're going to have some of those big 4, maybe 5-star recruits coming in and checking out the campus, and hopefully it'll pay dividends for us. That's for sure.
From what I've read, everyone that has come so far has had nothing but really, really good things to say, which, isn't really horribly surprising because they normally do, but it just seems different. It seems different from what these kids, I've read these interviews, of kids that came to UCF and all that for years, and so have you. After their visits, there's always an interview or two. And they just seem more excited, and every one of them says it feels like home.
Yeah.
The coaches are like father figures. They're like friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just seems different.
And think about those. Think about who Gus seems to be, and kind of that, like you said, father figure, but also just kind of, we talked about it when spring practice started, like this level of professionalism that he just brought to the program, that just brought it to the next level, and that level of excitement that T Will and the defensive coordinators and the young coaches that we have, like G.J. Kenny, the quarterbacks coach and the offensive coordinator. I mean, just you got a great mix of high energy guys, a lot of excitement, along with that really good professionalism, and Gus kind of embodies all of that, which is exciting, which is great. But you can see that level of kind of that next level stuff that we saw in the spring camp, kind of brought to bringing to this open period of recruiting.
It just keeps going.
I think that feeling that you're talking about is genuine.
Where you think that it would fall off,
right?
At this point. So this kid Zachariah Owens, who's one of the big guys, and I'm going to say big because this dude is massive. He's an offensive lineman, 6'7", 350 pounds.
A high school kid.
That's
a big boy.
That came in. He's a class of 2023 that came in and visited over the last weekend. He said, this was my first visit, and I really think it's going to be the best. I had such a great time. One of the biggest things that he said that he met Paul Rubelt, who's our 6'11" offensive lineman from Germany.
The German guy,
He said one of the offensive linemen, Paul Rubel, Owen said, he's 6'11", I'm 6'7", and usually nobody's bigger than me. He was very friendly, and like they hung out and stuff like that. So, and then everybody talks about Gus and Herb Hand, which is the offensive line coach. This guy, of course, talks about him, but this guy, for a 6'7", 365-pound guy, they tell him that he moves awesome. So he's from Georgia, McDonough, Georgia. So that could, and the dude is just massive.
That's a big dude. I imagine he's got a few other colleges looking at him. That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There's some guys that are coming in and visiting, obviously, that may honestly go someplace else. It's like that every year, though. We may have more of them visiting, and maybe a couple of them. I think a couple of them are probably going to come here.
Yeah.
Zane Durant was another guy, and he's UCF's top defensive target from Lake Nona, hometown guy. I guess he's been, kind of called the hometown hero or whatever. He had a great visit. He said he was there 5 hours talking to the staff. Nice being able to meet Gus and Travis Williams, Kenny Ingram. So, he also said that he got to meet Big Cat, which was a big deal to him.
Yeah, because Zane is a defensive lineman, right?
Defensive end.
So there's this
4-star.
There's this academy that my nephew trains at, and my nephew's in middle school. But they have some big time people there, and I believe Zane is one of them because it's in the Lake Nona area, and that guy's got a lot of different schools after him, and he's a big name. It would be really cool if we can get him.
6'2", 251 pounds, and he's got offers from pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Indiana, Miami, Mississippi, Penn State, that's Ole Miss, Auburn, Georgia Tech, Kansas State, Minnesota, West Virginia, Tennessee, a bunch of other ones that don't really matter. But there's a bunch of and he's in the UCF is in his top interests.
Yeah,
so.
and then that's the thing. People are gonna these recruits are gonna come on campus and they're gonna see our beautiful campus. It's it's great weather outside. It's a modern look to a campus, and some of these other historic campuses that they're going to see, it's just a different vibe. And when Gus says, the future of college football is here, I mean, I think that their visits are going to really reflect that. And I agree with you. I think we really are going to land some of these great players that are going to be great additions to our program.
This says we're in his top 5. So his top 5 is Indiana, Miami, Mississippi, Ole Miss, Penn State, and UCF. So it's between those at this point for him.
It would be great to have a hometown kid, like you said, stay here, not have to go away, and then realize that he should have stayed here to begin with and then transfer back. Let's get some kids out of high school.
And that's what's happening,
right.
With the transfer portal is a lot of kids go wherever, and then they decide, well, wait, this wasn't the greatest deal. Maybe I should go home, be closer to my family. Because, a lot of kids a lot of these guys are mama's boys. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a mama's boy. Trust me. And, they want to come home. Their families want them home. What better to play in front of your entire family if you're from here? I mean, no reason this guy shouldn't stay here. I mean, I'm
absolutely.
sure that there's offers, but, especially, and we can talk about this a little bit. We were talking about it a little bit off the air this afternoon, talking about the playoff thing maybe. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't able to read the article. I didn't have time today. I was really busy.
Yeah, I'll say I skimmed over it before I send it over to you. But the gist of the article, and a lot of people have read it, probably listening to the show. But there's a series of meetings coming up. 2 meetings of the College Football Committee and a number of presidents and ADs, where essentially they're looking to modify the playoff structure. I guess the time period is up for that. So it's in that period of restructuring, could be a possibility. And it seems to be, by this Yahoo Sports article, that a 12-team playoff scenario where essentially the Power 5, the quote-unquote Power 5 all-conference champions, along with the highest-ranking group of 5 conference champion would be the 6, and then the 6 at-large bids would be a part of this 12-team scenario. It seems to be that scenario is like rising to the top.
Yeah.
It's one that I find very interesting and one that I would be attracted to anything is better than our current format.
Right.
So hopefully
but the
that's
6
one
at
that gains
large
traction.
and 1 G5.
Correct.
At least G5's in there. I mean, at least there's 1. Because there hasn't even been that for the longest time. So
what I liked about a slight modification that I heard today, a suggestion, if you will, about that is if you took the highest ranking 6 conference champions. So, potentially a UCF or Cincinnati that won the American Conference could be ranked higher than a Pac-12 champion or whatever. And so maybe you could actually get 2 quote unquote group of 5 teams in that way, and then the 6 at large from there. So that seems to be, I think that's rising to the top, that 12-team scenario, just because it gives the Power 5 conference, which has the most power in this scenario, kind of more access to the playoff, which is what they want, and in turn gives us a little more access, which would be nice. Being in the tournament by winning your conference, because we talked about it before. American Conference is the top conference outside of the Power.
By far, yeah.
By far. So
yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, I've been clamoring for a long time for them to just do this like they do the FCS playoffs. The Division 2, Division 3, they do everybody else is a big tournament, but there's no bowl games. So make all these bowl games, tournament games. That's all you have to do. Spread them out a little bit more. They're over like a month right now. Move them into November if you have to. Start the season a little earlier. You could do that.
Yeah, we'll all take that.
Yeah. I mean, started a week earlier or something like that. I don't know. Anyway.
I certainly think there's room for it, and I think they'll gain some traction on that.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, and we'll follow this as close as we can. All right, going to a break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. Got Big Ben Stout here with me tonight, talking UCF sports. We were talking about football a little while ago. We're probably going to mix some basketball in here at some point. Getting ready for UCF football to start. 85 days, 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 28 seconds.
That's right.
But nobody's counting. 85 days, 12 weeks, 2 months, 2,043 hours. But only 122,603 minutes. So
that's all we got to wait for.
Yeah. But who's counting? I think I took that even farther before. So anyway, yeah. Well, we could go through birthdays that are on September 2nd. How about that? Keanu Reeves, Selma Hayek, Mark Harmon. Remember Mark Harmon?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, all those people, their birthdays September 2nd, which is the day that UCF football comes back against, who is it?
Boise State.
Who cares? It doesn't matter.
We're going to crush them.
It doesn't matter what your name is. That's what they say.
That's right, Chase. We said it, if you're listening.
Yeah. Yeah, so looking forward to that. We could talk about some of the other games, though, because we've talked a lot about last week. We pretty much talked about that game completely. Maybe in the next, I don't know. We could run through the schedule here real quick.
Sure.
And then in the next segment, maybe we'll say what we like a little bit more about these, because this segment is almost up. It's not very long. It's a pretty short segment. So, all right, so we start out September 2nd, Boise State at home. Saturday, September 12th, which is the following Saturday, or 11th, I'm sorry, versus Bethune-Cookman at home. And Bethune-Cookman, another team, from around here. We have a long history with Bethune-Cookman.
We do, yeah. We played them a lot.
A lot back in the day, especially. And they had the advantage for a while, I think, at one point. So
maybe way back in the day.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah, and they unfortunately didn't get to even play their season last year.
They didn't play at all.
That's right.
So, and they're FCS, I think. No, they're FBS, but they're what do
you call it? Like one FCS, I guess.
They're FCS in the historically black college.
That's right. They're at HBCU.
Yeah. But man, I hope they bring their band, because that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
All those schools. This is one of the teams that plays in the Florida Classic.
Mm-hmm.
That's at the Citrus Bowl all the time against what's the other one?
FAMU is the other one. Yeah.
FAMU. Both of their bands are absolutely incredible bands. So that's something to see. Hopefully they're able to bring them. That'll be much more entertaining than other bands that we
for sure.
play.
And that game, you mentioned the date. I mean, that's the 20-year anniversary of 9/11.
September 11th. Yeah,
September
wow.
11th. So that's a key date just in the history of our country, obviously. But to be able to be at home and playing in a game like that, it doesn't matter who you're playing at that point. They could do some interesting things for the fan interaction of that, in memory of that game.
Absolutely. I hope that we have a helmet that has a sticker, the UCF sticker and the Stars and Stripes. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
In fact. All right. I didn't think about that. Now I am thinking about it, though. Then Friday, September 17th on the road at Louisville, which I will be going to. Looking forward to that. And Saturday, October 2nd on the road at Navy. A really good one if you can make it to that one as well. Saturday, October 9th at East Carolina, or at home versus East Carolina. Then Saturday, October 16th, big game, I think it will be, again on the road at Cincinnati. Friday, October 2nd at home versus Memphis. That'll be fun.
It's a quick turnaround from that at Cincinnati game back at Friday.
And then back on the road again.
There you go.
At Temple, Saturday, October 30th. Saturday, November 6th at home versus Tulane. Tulane was pretty good last year. Saturday, November 2nd on the road against SMU. And then Saturday, November 20th at home versus UConn, who used to be in our conference and now is an independent. So that's a non-conference game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll whoop them like we always do.
For sure.
And then Friday, November 26th at home again versus the dreaded Cows of South Florida.
Black Friday.
Which they're really not in South Florida.
West
West Florida.
Central Community College.
Exactly, yeah. So we always make fun of them. So we have a good time with that. It's a good season. I mean, there's a lot of games in there that will be great games, I think. Obviously, Louisville, I think, is going to be a good game. I'm not totally sure about Navy. You never know which team is going to show up there. Years and they're good, years and they're bad. Years and they're good, years and they're bad. So we'll have to see what they're like. If they have a quarterback, they'll be good. If they don't, they won't.
The biggest thing about going to Navy or playing Navy is just coming out of the game healthy. Right? I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah.
So.
They're hard nose players. They run the ball at you constantly, and that can wear a defense down, and that's how teams like that win. So then East Carolina at home. We've had a long rivalry with East Carolina as well.
Yeah, they're one of the teams that we've played more, than the top 5 of teams we've played the most of any other team.
Right, and then obviously always Cincinnati. We'll dive more into this after the break, though. We're coming up on that fairly quickly here. So, never know what Temple's going to do. Memphis is always a good game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. The teams both could be horrible teams that year or good teams, and they're both going to play each other extremely hard.
Yep.
So, and Tulane, that'll be fun. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company. And they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. You can call us, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app to send us a message. AP_Knightline is who I am on Twitter, Andrew Phegley, and got Big Ben Stout here at Big Social 32. You can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. And we are talking UCF sports, obviously. Says it in the name.
We have an aptly named show.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Go Knights.
Yeah. 85 days until football starts at UCF. I'm not going to go through the whole minutes and all that again. I've done that twice on these intros now tonight, so I'm not going to go through that again. Maybe in the last one. I don't know. So it's coming up pretty quick, and I figured maybe we could go through a little bit. You know what? Let's not talk about football for just a few minutes. Let's talk. There's a basketball deal that happened.
Yeah.
New coach, not a head coach, obviously, but a new assistant coach, and you're kind of excited about this guy.
Yeah, I am. We hired Johnny Dawkins, had a great addition to his staff this week. We hired Mamadou Njai. That's how you pronounce his name for anybody who has looked at the name on the internet and not quite sure. But this is a fantastic hire, and he's a big man. He's been an excellent big man coach, it seems, at his previous stops, which have been Coastal Carolina, Georgia Tech, and most recently University of San Francisco, the other USF, the USF that we don't really mind.
Right.
But he was a standout player at Auburn back in the late 90s, early 2000s. He was an All-American. He was fantastic. He was drafted in the first round of the NBA draft and the 2001 draft. Played about 5 years in the league, played 10 years professionally. But what he's done since he's picked up coaching, once he's been coaching at the collegiate level, is he has really seemed to have a handle on making sure that the big men that are on his teams really thrive. And you see it in some statistics in some of the intros that they said about him this week. Talked about his time at Coastal Carolina, where they were, struggling on a rebounding perspective. During his first 2 seasons there, they went from being, middle of the pack on a rebounding margin to tops in the league with a big rebounding margin. So really seems like it's going to be a great hire for guys like Jameel Reynolds, for C.J. Walker, and these other big men that are going to be down in the paint and needing to control the boards for us. I'm really excited about getting a guy like him in to really cultivate that talent that we have.
Well, it makes a big difference. I mean, to have a guy, especially a big man, because the coaching, I think, is different for those guys. I mean, you would know, obviously, you're Knightline's own 7-footer, so it has to be. It's a different technique, I would think. So to have a guy like that's done it. And that's recruiting as well, because this is a guy that has really done it in the NBA and everywhere else. So,
and we talk about a guy like Johnny Dawkins. Obviously, he was Naismith Player of the Year. He played in the NBA for 10+ years. He was a fantastic player. I mean, a collegiate Hall of Famer in his own right. And, having somebody like that on as the leader of our program is huge, because that's where all these guys want to go, right? They want to get into the NBA. They want to thrive as a professional. And Mamadou Njai is just an addition to that, just at a different position. And that's what I like about it as well. He's got that example of being successful at the collegiate level and being able to be drafted and play very well professionally. And on top of that, since he has turned into his coaching career, he's had a lot of success. So it's exciting on both ends of that coin.
Yeah, he's from Dakar, Senegal as well, where Taco Fall's from, which is interesting. To have both those guys from the same town. And he was the first Senegalese player to be selected in the NBA draft when he was chosen 26th overall by the Denver Nuggets in the 2000 NBA draft. So that's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
All kinds of stuff that's interesting there. And, UCF basketball has made some strides, I think, in recruiting in the last couple of years, and I think it's going to come around here really soon and be really good. So
yeah, the class coming in is probably one of the best we've ever had, if not the best, as far as ranking goes. Not that we concentrate too much on that. That being said, as long as some of the bad luck with injuries that we've had over the past few seasons, don't occur this year, as long as we can stay healthy, I really think that we've got a lot of promise this year.
Absolutely awesome. Okay, and then some tennis news as well. You were saying, I think you were telling me earlier, I didn't see it, but you saw that like 6 All-Americans or something off the tennis court?
We were able to get three members of the men's tennis team that were actually All-Americans this year. So Gabriel DeCamps, we talked about him a couple weeks ago when I jinxed him, and he got completely knocked out right after I said he was going to win the championship.
By number 1.
He did make All-American as a singles player. So Gabriel DeCamps is a singles All-American, and then we had Trey Hillebrand and Bogdan Pavel as they're named as All-Americans as a doubles team. They were the ones that made it to the Sweet 16 as a doubles team. So 3 All-Americans on the men's tennis team. They just continue to grow under John Roddick, and it's just that's another sport that we don't talk about often, but they're one that's really thriving, underneath the leadership of John Roddick.
Now, John Roddick, I can't remember, is it Andy Roddick's brother?
He is related to him, but I cannot
really
think of the
They're either
relation.
cousins or it's his last name is Roddick.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that name in tennis. And this guy's, he's serious. So
and it's interesting. He runs both the men's and the women's program. So it's kind of different than other sports. There is coaches on the women's side that are specific to that, but he runs both programs.
Yeah, he is the absolute tennis coach
That's right.
of everyone, which is different. I mean, to have your men's coach also be the head coach of your women's team, even though there's other coaches and stuff. But
that's right.
They all did really good this year, though. It was a great year for tennis, and pretty much every other sport. I know volleyball got a transfer that they were really excited about. I don't know her name. Let me see if I can find that out. But I know that they were very excited about getting this transfer that they got.
She's a middle blocker. She came from your favorite college in the nation, in Missouri. She came from Missouri,
Mizzou.
but at least she came to a better school from Missouri,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Claudia Dillon is her name. She's a middle blocker. And I did see a lot of buzz on social media. I haven't done a whole lot of research on her, but it did seem to be an exciting signing transfer coming in.
Volleyball, the American champs as well, like most other sports this year, being American champions. So good to have that. Okay, well, let's get back to football.
Let's do it
while we can here. All right, so I want to go through, Bethune-Cookman. We talked a little bit about them earlier, and we were talking about them they're one of the historic black college teams. They were in, what was the conference that you said it earlier? Well, the SWAC this year, but they were in the other one. And I feel horrible that I don't know. Maybe somebody could call and tell me. Anyway, they didn't get to play football at all last year, so they didn't play anything.
I think that they just moved up
to the SWAC.
To the SWAC, and so that transition year was going to be last year, where they were independent, and they decided to kind of shut it down because of COVID last year. They took a break from their program, which is, that's tough to do, to come back. To come back from having an entire season of football missed. But
they were in the MEAC.
MEAC, there we go.
That's what it was. Historically black college in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, and now they are in the SWAC, which I think is the Southwest Athletic or something. I don't know. It's a better conference, though, I can tell you that. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to playing those guys. It's always a good game. They will They will always, play. It's not like that they're going to come and just lay down.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to lay down for UCF, so it's going to be a good game.
And, too, with a lot of Florida players on our team and a lot of Florida players on theirs, I mean, these are guys that are familiar with each other at the high school level, and so certainly there's always that pride that is on the field there.
And it's going to be a game that's going to have a ton of people at it, just because of, both teams being local. They're in Volusia County.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great as far as that. So it's going to be a good crowd. There's going to be tailgating on both sides. I remember the last time that we played them, and I just remember that the tailgates were extra special that week. It smelled even better out there with all the barbecue and stuff. So that's always exciting. Louisville. I don't know much about them from last year. I think that they were okay. I think they were in a bowl game. I probably need to do a little bit more research from them from last year. I know that everybody played. No, they weren't very good last year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They won 4 games out of their...
Yeah, they struggled a bit last season.
Yeah, they were not good. I'm just looking at their schedule right now. Our common opponent from last year was Georgia Tech that we beat, and they lost 46-27 to them. They beat Western Kentucky, Syracuse. Oh, they beat Florida State. That's interesting.
A lot of teams beat Florida State last year, though.
And Wake Forest. That's who they beat. So Wake Forest you can pretty much always beat. Okay.
The thing is, though, going on the road to any opponent like that, that we were in the same conference for one season, right? It was that magical 2013 year where they thought they were going to dominate before they go off to the ACC. So there's a little bit of a history there between the two teams, and it should be a good matchup there at Louisville. And
the last time that we played them was the Miracle in Louisville or whatever. Hale Perryman is what it was called, I believe.
No, that was the ECU
Wasn't
game.
No.
This was against Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater versus Blake Bortles, basically. It was the Surrender Cobra game is what they called it.
Exactly. I'm tired.
Mom, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his
Teddy
mom
Bridgewater's
had that Surrender
mom
Cobra.
was just like, coming apart in the stands when we were taking them apart on the football field. Yeah, it was a great game.
That's one of those games. It was on a Friday night, and it was about a month after my son was born. And I honestly, it's one of those games that it's singed into my memory just watching it on TV, and just like it was just.
I think Jeff Godfrey caught
the final touchdown. Yeah,
pass from Blake Bortles, and that was the year that kind of made Blake Bortles, and that was the big Fiesta Bowl year, and
12-1.
It was a big deal for UCF that season. So.
And that was when we were, really splashed onto the map. When we beat and went into Louisville. They were a top 10 team, and we beat them at that time.
We wound up, I think, number 6 that year, and nobody gave us a chance to win that game. In fact, I remember the announcers, all they would talk about, Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Bridgewater. That's all they were talking about. And then all of a sudden, by the end of the game, it was Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles wound up being the number 3 pick that year out of the whole NBA draft, and Bridgewater sat there for a little while. So
he did.
It was pretty interesting. Those times are over, though. We're at a different place now. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this.
We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys?
My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes Rarely, though. I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. It is time now for our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Thank you to Tijuana Flats, the absolute best fresh Mexican food, Tex-Mex that there is out there. Personally,
so good.
I love it. I go at least once a week. Go ahead, Ben, with yours.
All right, I'm gonna as we talked about the hire of Mamadou Ndiaye for the UCF men's basketball team and how well he develops big men. I'm going to say that, and I probably would have said this regardless of the hire this week, but I'm even more confident now. I think Jameel Reynolds, who was a freshman this past year, 6'10", 285, just kind of that baby Shaq guy. I mean, he's a great player already, but I think he's going to grow by leaps and bounds in next season, and I'm going to say that he's going to make one of the all-conference teams next year. He's going to be that good.
Okay,
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well, the history of that guy coaching definitely makes guys get a lot better.
For sure.
So I could see that. Well, I'm going to give, mine's going to be a basketball one too. And I'm going to say that, I want to tread lightly here. I want to say that they're going to make it to the tournament. I don't know how far in the tournament, blah, 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 but they will make it to the big dance this year, I think. I think UCF will make it. Hopefully win a game or two.
That'd be great.
Be awesome. But they will make it to the big dance. That's my hot take. I just think it's coming together. I really think, and we've been close. And a couple of years ago, we made it, and we did better last year at times. So it just seems like, with coaching changes and transfers and recruiting happening, it just seems like it's gelling.
Yeah,
so,
it's starting to come together for sure. I agree with you. I mean, this is like I said, we've gotten unlucky with injuries to key players in key positions, especially point guard, with Tony Johnson getting injured last year and a kind of a freak thing at the beginning of the game.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. I mean, we've got, like I said, one of our best recruiting class, if not our best recruiting class coming in, along with some great transfers.
And some young transfers, the guys that transferred in last year.
Exactly.
CJ Walker.
Exactly.
To have him back is huge.
Mm-hmm. And then Isaiah Adams. I mean, he Mr. Florida for basketball. I mean, he was a freshman last year, just showed so much potential, along with Jameel Reynolds, who I just talked about. Darian Green Jr. is going to be a senior, junior, whatever you want to count it, but
it's all messed up. We've kept track of all these kids and what class that they're in, and now because of the COVID year and everybody getting another year, it just gets all weird.
Yeah,
so,
I think we're going to take a huge step forward. So I'm excited about it, and I agree with you. I think we are going to be able to put it together enough to make the tournament.
Yeah, I think so too. So, got football coming up. Of course, we're going to keep talking about football. We're going to go through more and more games. Hopefully, I'll remember more because I couldn't remember anything tonight.
We'll break down these games for sure.
Yeah,
we got plenty of time.
We're just trying to milk this for everything we can at this point, just because it's that time of year where there's really nothing going on. Eric Amarola for NASCAR, though, he's a UCF graduate. He did pretty good this week.
All right.
Road course racing. And there's other people out there. In fact, I saw I was watching a fight the other night. I think it was LFA fighting UCF. I mean, jeez. UFC type thing, MMA fights, and there was a former UCF football player on there, and I cannot remember his name right now because I can't remember anything tonight, but I just remember them saying that he was a UCF football player. So
all right, then.
That was kind of cool. A running back, I remember. He did not do too well, though, in his fight. It did not last very long at all. But I think he's up and coming, fighting in the LFA, which is a little bit of a lower level thing. They're on UFC Fight Pass, though, so it's coming up.
Something that just popped into my head that I want to make sure everybody knows. Coming up this Thursday and then again on Saturday is the NCAA Outdoor Championships, and we've got two players in that, 2 track athletes in that. Renaya Jones is one of them. She's the 100-meter hurdles. And the second person who does triple jump, her name is escaping me right now, but we do have 2 athletes in that NCAA Outdoor National Championship. So,
and the girl that does the 100-meter hurdles, Jones, I think, was her name.
Renaya Jones, yeah.
She is really kind of looking towards the Olympics as well. So she could very easily get there.
Yeah. And
now's about the time, she's peaking towards the end of the season. So it could be about the time for that. So we'll see. She could put up incredible numbers in the championships.
Yeah,
so,
we'll see. We'll definitely keep an eye on it this weekend. We'll talk about it next week.
Especially with hurdles and stuff. Anybody can win that.
Mm-hmm.
She's fast, though, and just very smooth and excited to see that. So we will see that coming up. Like we said, we're just trying to think of stuff to talk about at this point. So it happens every year. I've been doing this show as a podcast for years, and in the summertime, it's always difficult.
Yeah, like I've said before, if we can get through the COVID offseason, we can get through any offseason.
We're getting there. We will see you next week, same channel, same time. Go Knights.
Charge on.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Ronald.
You don't have, what's that? Yeah, no, you don't have to send it to me tonight. All right, man. Take it easy. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hopefully your week goes better.
Yeah, good luck with everything over there.
See
you, man.